Tom Davis with Eddie Matz, who covers baseball for the Orioles and the Nationals through ESPN.com. Let's talk a little bit about trade rumors now, Eddie. There's a lot of them floating out there. What are you hearing?
It is that time of year, right?
Yeah.
I feel like, by now we are well into the trade deadline frenzy, so it's not like there's a bunch of new revolutionary stuff that's coming out right now. We've all heard kind of the same stuff. Andrew Cashner from the Padres is a name that's been kind of bandied about. Jeremy Hellickson is another name. Both those names have been linked to the Orioles. But honestly, if you asked me 2 or 3 weeks ago, I might say, sure, the Orioles might make a play for one of those guys. Maybe they could get one of those guys. But honestly, they're both pitching pretty well lately. Cashner's had 3 straight good starts, including one yesterday. Hellickson's been phenomenal. Over his last 6 starts, he's given up a combined 8 earned runs. So I think their prices have got driven up to the point where the Orioles, who don't have a lot of assets to offer, even if they want those guys, I'm not sure they can get them. It's not to say the Orioles aren't going to go out and get anybody, but the question is, at what cost?
All right, but the way the Orioles pitching has been going the last 2 weeks, do they really need to add, since it looks like they're in a good groove?
They're definitely in a groove. Last year there was a winning streak right before the trade deadline. It probably convinced the Orioles to be buyers when maybe they should have been sellers. This year, it's a different streak, I feel like, that may change the decision-making. The starting pitching, as you mentioned, has been fantastic since the All-Star break. So it's possible that the Orioles are convinced that, hey, maybe we don't need another starter. We've got Tillman, Gausman. Now we have Bundy, who seems to be figuring out his new role. Gallardo's been throwing well. And then, Tyler Wilson threw 4 innings of perfect relief, as Rick mentioned. And we also have Vance Worley, who was great in his last start. So, on the one hand, you could see how they think maybe they don't need a starter. On the other hand, there's a lot of question marks there. That's like, I've seen more question marks in the Riddler's walk-in closet, So, I feel like they could certainly use help. The question is, how are they going to get it?
True. How about the fact that they might need another position player? Do you think they need a position player?
I don't. There was a lot of excitement because anytime there's a rumor like Melvin Upton Jr., it's exciting, right? A new guy, somebody who's got 16 home runs, he's stolen 20 bases. I know Joey Ricker's hurt. I know Hyun-Soo Kim was hurt. Adam Jones has had some health issues this year. But even despite that, I think they're okay with an outfielder. I think all the other positions are certainly covered. Could they use a little outfield insurance? Sure. But I think one of the reasons the Upton deal fell through was because the Orioles are hesitant to give up any prospects, even though these might have been low-level prospects. If they give them up for an outfielder, then if they decide they want a pitcher, what are they going to use? How are they going to pay?
How about Zach Britton? Now, he's got a marvelous earned run average, and he's done a fabulous job, Eddie. How about, what were your thoughts on Zach Britton at the end of the season?
Yeah, he's been unbelievable. Here's a trivia question for you. I know you like my trivia questions.
Yeah.
Who was the last closer to win the Cy Young?
Well, I know Willie Hernandez was Guillermo Hernandez back in 1984. He won it. I think probably Eckersley may have done it later.
That's true. Those are both right. There have been 9 closers who've won the Cy Young. The last one was Eric Gagne in 2003. Zach Britton is having a fantastic year. So it's been 13 years since somebody's won it. I talked to him today about that. I said, do you believe that Cy Young can be a closer? And it's funny, he grew up in Southern California, and he actually grew up watching Eric Gagne. So he said, you know what, it's got to be something special. The reliever's got to be doing something special to win this Cy Young. Gagne had that streak where he saved, I think it was 84 consecutive games. 55 of them came in that Cy Young season. Zach Britton's doing some pretty special stuff here. So he's got a .63 ERA, which is the lowest in baseball. He's got a .77 whip. He's 32 for 32 in save tries, 33 for 33 if you count the All-Star game. And it's not like these are flukes, really. Since he took over the closer's role in 2014, he's got a 1.60 ERA, which is the best in baseball. So, on the one hand, if he has a hiccup, has a couple bumpy outings, maybe we stop having this conversation. But if he keeps doing what he's doing, I can see it happening. There's ESPN.com has something called the Cy Predictor. I don't know if the viewers out there have seen it or if you've seen it, but it's based on Rob Nyer and Bill James. They came up with this formula that predicts who the Cy Young is going to be. And since it started in 2003, it has correctly predicted about 70% of the Cy Young winners in both leagues. Right now, guess who's number 1?
Zach Britton?
Zach Britton.
How about that? Now, you know what? All those accolades you just did, you better hit wood because Buck's going to be paranoid about it.
I know. Buck hates the jinxes. The players hate the jinxes. But I guarantee you that me talking about Zach Britton here is not going to jinx him. Zach will tell you the same thing. If he has trouble tonight or in the coming days, it has nothing to do with me. They might come get you or Rick, but they're not coming to get me.
How about the difficulty of hitting his pitches, though? I mean, players just chop them, hit them in the grass.
It is the best single pitch since Mariano Rivera Rivera's cutter. I've talked to him about his sinker a lot. You know, they know it's coming. He basically only throws one pitch, and they still can't hit it. It dives down. He told me he aims for, on Wieters, he's got 2 Under Armour signs, one on his chest protector and I think one on his shin guard, and he'll aim for one of those, depending on where he wants to throw it. He'll aim it there, and then he expects it to drop, you know, maybe 6, 8, 12 inches. They don't know what's coming, you know. They're either going to miss it or they're going to beat it into the ground. It's unhittable almost.
I don't think any hitter wants to bat against Zach Britton. But Eddie Matz covers the Orioles and the Nationals for ESPN.com. Check him out. Thorough coverage all the time.